This is the second half of our conversation with filmmaker Alex Mills. We're just going to jump right back into the halfway mark where we cut off last time. But if you want to hear that first half where Alex talks about getting into that world and being a young filmmaker and some advice that he shares, you might want to jump back and listen to that first part first. But appreciate you guys listening. Cheers.
Let's jump though, and let's talk a little bit about the Oscars. I think
Yeah,
that the nominations were supposed to be out by now at the time of recording, but they've been pushed back. It might have been because of the fire. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I think they would.
so we're gonna
Yeah.
pivot and talk predictions here. I gave a warning to these guys earlier, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off. We start with best picture. We start with the best or biggest. We do reverse order of the actual award ceremony, but we'll start with best picture, and we'll each go through and name our 10 predictions for what's going to be nominated. Okay, you guys don't have to do all 10, but I think you'll see. The game is this: we'll add up from each category. Okay, and then whoever gets the most correct out of the nominations wins our little contest here. Sound good,
Mm,
guys?
yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna have you start though,
Yeah, that's fine.
so
So
I can copy yours.
so let's see. So starting off, like I said, with Best Picture, I'm just gonna go through. We can talk about one in particular if you guys feel the one merits that. So here's what I got. I got The Brutalist, Conclave, Honora, Sing Sing, A Real Pain, Juror Number Two, We Live in a Time, A Complete Unknown, Dune Part Two, and I think it's going to be nominated. And I'll say Wicked.
Mm.
So those are my 10. Any particular guys that you guys are like, oh, well, that one definitely, or that one definitely not?
Well, I guess I haven't seen it, but I think just I definitely think a complete unknown will be nominated just because kind of the biopic, like, got to have one of those in there. Um, I think the Brutalist too. Um, I think that's just like right up best, best picture kind of category. Um, Sing Sing too. I watched that. I really love that. So I think I'm hoping that will get nominated, but I guess we'll see because I haven't heard. I guess in my social media sphere, I haven't heard too many people talking about it. I just recently have seen people say, "Go watch this movie back in theaters," before the Oscars. So maybe then, maybe it got a little bit of a late push,
I
but
think
yeah, I'd
that's
say those
why it's
three.
in theaters again because they're going, how can we bump this and get some? Because I think there's a couple nominations will come out of that movie. We'll talk about the other ones in a second, but
My thoughts, because I do have a few. One, I do know the director of photography of A Complete Unknown, the guy that shot it. It's a Greek man named Mikhail. He's been very nice to me in the past. He saw my last short, had some nice things to say about it, and has helped me just generally with some guidance and advice throughout my career. So I'm rooting for that film as much as I don't know if despise is harsh enough, but despise that casting choice for Bob Dylan. Nothing against Timmy specifically. Like, I'm sure he's a fine person. I don't know him, but like I just don't think he's a good fit for the part. I think was it Kate Blanchett played him in a Todd
oh
Haynes
yeah,
film, and I thought she bodied the role. But I agree with you that I think, and they've had a really good just sort of like press push. So I think A Complete Unknown will be nominated. I think Honora and The Brutalist are two obvious answers.
yep,
I think both have the capacity to win Best Picture. Um, I think that The Brutalist is a more likely Best Picture winner. It reminds me a lot aesthetically of There Will Be Blood. It's an immigrant story.
yeah.
The visuals are really stunning. The soundtrack's really good. The runtime, I'm not sure if that's going to impact people's decision at all, but
I
that's
don't
a
I don't
it's
know
a
if it will. I think it's a lock for nominations, obviously, but yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's a lot. There's a few other films that you did mention that I think have chances. Um, I haven't seen. I know there's a lot of talk around Emilia Perez.
Yep.
I've heard some people say they loved it. Some people say that it was god awful. I can't attest to that. I think the substance has gotten too much buzz not to get a nomination, at least for Demi Moore. Although whether or not it lands the Best Picture nomination is to be discussed. I have a lot of thoughts about it. I really disliked that film. I thought it was French extremism at its worst. But I also think A Real Pain and Nickel Boys are two big contenders as well. I think A Real Pain may win. It'll at least be nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Um, but I think um, it may get Best Picture nom as well.
Yeah, talk about
And then
a debut. I mean that what a phenomenal debut.
yeah, Jesse Eisenberg is really cool. Um, and I really Kieran Culkin is such a cool actor. And I like the subject matter is really original. I remember it got a lot of buzz at Sundance uh, when it premiered there. So I'm rooting for it. I think it could be a really cool story.
Yeah. Ren, did you have juror number
I do,
2
yeah.
in your? Yeah, okay, all right. I was gonna say if not, I think with that also I thought it was a great film, but also with it potentially being Clint Eastwood's last film, I could see that them kind of just throwing it in there regardless of the quality. But I think it's definitely deserving of it too. With I thought Nicholas Holt's performance was really awesome. He's had an amazing year.
I was gonna
I don't
say
know if he's I don't know if he's going to get any nominations for best actor, but he's had a great year all around.
Yeah,
he
he's
has.
because he does a lot of subdued. Like he's so like a centered like actor in almost all of his roles. I haven't ever seen him do like a big performance in anything, which isn't bad. I'm just saying that usually you don't win Oscars that way. But
I
uh
completely agree. Guys, you're gonna have to give me like 1 minute. I'll be right back.
okay, no worries.
Okay.
Okay, you guys can go ahead
Um, but yeah, so I'd say juror number 2. Um, I actually still have not seen the substance yet. I do want to because I am usually into like kind of the I know like a little bit of like there's definitely some body horror in there. But it like Alex was talking about how maybe it wears its influences on its sleeve too much. It will be interesting going through it the first time whenever I watch it hopefully before the Oscars, and if it is nominated, and kind of seeing those trends because that's usually those are the kind of movies I gravitate towards, regardless if it's good or bad, just because I like to see if it's something different because there is a lot of I guess slop with those kind of movies, but there's also a lot of great movies too. So it's kind of picking through it, but yeah, I think that's one thing too is you want to you're gonna have influences, but if if you don't have any like anything new you're providing, then what are we what's the purpose of making this? You can make it as like an ode to something, but if there's really no intent to make
See,
it your
it's
own,
tough
then
because
it's
like individual pieces, it's interesting and like when think I talked about before, I was like, this is the first half of this is like a pretty interesting film idea, and then for me it kind of gets too much where because I'm not really I don't enjoy like that kind of horror, it's a little too much for
yeah.
me. But it's like I wonder if they take if it what didn't have that part if I would be more comfortable with it, but yeah, I'm not sure.
is that
It's the substance, yeah.
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 uh,
It's got pieces that I'm like, this is interesting, and I like the
it's
performances.
too French.
De-
It's too French.
Demi
That's its
Moore,
biggest.
well, but they
Is
actually
it
is very good for both of them.
Yes,
Margaret Qualley
Demi
is
Moore.
very good in it as
Demi
well.
Moore?
Yeah.
Like, okay, look. Here's the ironic part. For a film called The Substance, it like entirely lacked that.
Well, yeah, okay, that is
And
fair.
the fact that it won Best Original Screenplay at Cannes reaffirms my theory that they just picked the movies that they like and put them into random categories because I really thought that the script was the worst part of it. I think The Substance is one of my least favorite films of the year. Um, I thought it was entirely pretentious and self-indulgent. Uh, it it also here's my take on it essentially. I think that it didn't provide a nuanced take on gender politics in a way like we've known since Hitchcock that filmmaking was voyeuristic, and what it did was it's quite postmodern and meta in the sense of like the male gaze sort of caters and indulges in like these like close-ups of like Margaret Qualley's ass in the first act, and then the filmmaker says, "I'm going to punish you for indulging in that in the second act by exposing you to so much body horror and gore and etc." And I'm not against that necessarily at all. I think like it's an interesting experiment, but it's like 20 minutes worth of ideas stretched out into like a 2 hour and 20-minute runtime. My biggest, not to, I don't think this is a spoiler. My biggest criticism of the film was, when Margaret Qualley and Demi Moore's character finally confront each other at some point during the film, they don't speak a word to each other. They just start fighting each other like they're Marvel superhero characters and flying around the room. And like, if you really want to have a nuanced, interesting, and engaging and intelligent take on like self hatred and self perception and so forth, shouldn't you use your words, not your fists? Like, I was expecting there to be something more there, and there really wasn't. And I think it falls into this like new category of film genre I call like TikTok genre, which is like you have really good production design and cinematography and some really hot people, and it's edgy enough for like mainstream audiences to think that it's like provocative. It'll be really successful. I felt the same way about Saltburn, even though the scripts are incredibly superficial.
Yep.
So I really dislike The Substance.
We can call that category the brain rot category
Yeah.
for
TikTok,
the
yeah, no, 100%. That's
yeah.
Substance is brain rot, unfortunately. It's just like it's nice production design. Demi does a pretty good job. I thought the character that played the film producer, who was originally going to be Ray Liotta, run
Oh,
before.
is that Dennis
Mhm.
Quaid? No.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Ray Liotta was originally cast in that role, and then he passed away, unfortunately. I will say that one redeeming, well, there's a couple redeeming qualities, but one really redeeming quality of that film was like I have met those producers. And she's not far off in exaggerating how pervy and slimy and gross, and they look like that too. Like that was just all too relatable, and I can't even imagine as a woman what it must feel like. So, um, kudos to that. But yeah, I hope it doesn't get nominated.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so much buzz around it. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. But yeah, I don't think it has any chance of winning. But I'd honestly be surprised if it doesn't get nominated for Best Picture. There's other movies out there that I thought could be deserving. One that's not even a contender that I'm stunned by is Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah.
Um, oh my gosh, great film, but it's not even a contender in any category. So I'm not sure why that is.
'Cause-
A24 movies. I'm not sure.
yeah, because that came out earlier in the year, right? Or
Yes.
like closer to summer at least, because I remember seeing all the trailers for it.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Yeah,
if she's.
maybe it'd get a bigger push if it was released later, but um,
I caught it at a Berlin Film Festival, and there was a good amount of buzz surrounding that film. It also kind of delves into like extremism at the end, which I was less opposed to with that film.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like isn't that surprising that that's not even like it's not on any kind of a list or any idea. So I was surprised by that. But
I'm surprised
uh,
by that.
one real
And
quick,
I'm
I'll
very
say
please, please.
I was gonna say you're talking about you find the substance pretentious and lacking substance. A movie this year that I was really disappointed by, and I know that you are quite fond of this writer director, was Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah,
I was like,
let's
this
talk
is
about
what are we watching here? You know, like
zero word buzz. I got nothing,
well,
which is hilarious.
yeah, um,
Um, yeah, I'm Greek. I like Lanthimos. I know some of the producers that did his original like Greek work. I'm very fond of Dogtooth as a film. I think he's a really brilliant director. Kinds of Kindness, actually, I have very mixed feelings about. I thought the first third was quite brilliant. It wasn't one of those films like Killing of a Sacred Deer that catered at all toward like pleasing the audience for anything. It's quite a postmodern mindfuck in a lot of ways, and I think that the music is beautiful. It's actually they're singing in Greek when they're doing that like operatic soundtrack, which I didn't notice way later, which I love. Um, but yeah, and it's so well edited, but no, it's got no award buzz.
Well, yeah, great
Not enough
cast.
reports.
I mean, obviously you got Willem Dafoe, Jesse Plemons, right, and leading it, and Emma Stone, right, and Karen, and especially after they worked together last year. But yeah, it's like I was like, really, this is what he follows up with. I think he's the perfect example. You hear this a lot, and with these kind of more mature filmmakers, which is like one for you, one for me, you know. And I think that's like,
Well, this was the first script that he had written with his Greek screenwriting collaborator Efthymius since Killing of a Sacred Deer, and it was a lot. There was a lot of dogtooth in there, and Kinds of Kindness. A lot of people had different like interpretations of how to understand it. It really is a story about power and the different ways that power manifests in different relationships and so forth. At least from my understanding of the piece. Emma Stone produces all of his work now, which is great. They just shot a film with Jesse Plemons called Begonia, which she shaved her head for, which I'm incredibly excited for. I think that'll be brilliant. He did not write that one. Like, I love the concept. You'll have to check it out, Run. You would like absolutely adore it. Basically, these two people kidnap a CEO, believing that she is like an alien from a different planet that's come here to like wreak havoc on the universe. Which is like, yeah, that's so playful. I love that. The Kinds of Kindness got nothing. Fuck. The Greeks don't make it this time around. Poor Things was kind of in a weird way, it was an audience pleaser though. And Kinds of Kindness is him back to his like actual provocative
yeah,
state, which I love the most Lanthimos out of a lot of his recent films though. I respected it. I can't say I like loved every minute of it, but I respected it a lot.
yeah. Good parts, bad parts. But again, yeah, very good example of I did one for me last year, or one for you last year. Here's this one's for me. You guys
That
watch
was
and
for
enjoy.
him.
Yeah,
That was for him.
yeah, that one's for me. Same with we got Megapolis released this year too, which we haven't even. But
Yeah,
that's
where's the award buzz for that?
yeah. Come on now.
What the heck? Come on.
Yeah, Megacoculus is 120 million. Not like I love Francis for doing that. I think that's so badass that he put 120 mil of his own money on the more than that because he split marketing costs with Lionsgate of his own money on the line. And he's making these grand pictures outside of the studio system. He'd done the same thing years earlier, and he had a studio in California that went bankrupt. And he's gone bankrupt a couple times because he is like the biggest risk taker out of any filmmaker in the world, probably. And I think that would be rewarded. I'm gonna watch his films and support him just because he's doing films of that proportion and that budget outside of the studio system. Whether or not it's good, who's to say? Whether or not it's gonna stand the test of time, like he claims, who's to say? Um, but cool film. I'm glad it exists.
That's how I think about it too. I'm
No,
like, it's not gonna get any buzz. It's not gonna win anything.
Yeah.
But at least we get to see what somebody can do if they're giving that kind of money and they have full control and they're gonna go, this is my thing, 100 through and through. You can't say anything about it. It's mine. And
who knows if you'll ever see another $120 million self-financed film ever again?
yeah, it,
Like honestly,
it'd be tough. But also, I think that's sad. I think it'd be,
very sad.
it's interesting to see that. But anyway, well, let's jump back in. I want you guys to finish your things here,
Our lists.
your lists. So you both
Okay.
right now have I've got 4 down for each of you. You each owe me 6 more.
6 more.
Yeah.
I'll say I guess I'm just gonna pick the movies that I want to,
Sure. Sure.
like some that I want, some that I know. But yeah, I'll throw in Love Lies Bleeding.
Okay.
Um,
It's impossible for it to win because it's
I,
not.
I I know,
Okay.
I know, it's okay. I'll take the L if I have to. Wild Robot. That's
Okay.
not gonna win, but I really liked Wild Robot.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Wicked. I'll throw Wicked in there. I'll throw Dune 2 in there too. And Anora.
Okay.
What am I at?
I think I need 2 more from you.
2 more. Crap. Um,
Conclave. Amelia Perez. You already
I'll
said.
I'll throw in Amelia Perez because I know that was
Oh.
in like the Golden Globes. Did that win? Did that win a Golden Globe?
It
Didn't win. It won one, I believe.
yeah, it did. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll share, Alex. My review for I think was bleak, bland, boring. Was what I thought.
Yeah.
Of it, so
Oh no.
yeah, but I've seen people like it a lot, but I wonder. It's like the fourth best musical that we got this year. You know, so I'm like, eh.
It's just bad.
I might have to think about my last one. It's always the hardest pick.
Okay.
I might have to think about that one.
I'm ready for your run.
Yep.
Brutalist Honora, Complete Unknown.
Yep. I've also got a
Dune Part
real pain down for you. You want Dune 2? Okay.
A Real Pain, Dune 2. Nickel Boys. Conclave.
Conclave, yeah.
Wicked.
Okay.
That sort of fits like the Barbie category of last year.
Yes.
I am going to put Sing Sing.
Okay.
And although I don't think it'll get nominated, but just because I really, really wanted to, A Different Man.
Yeah. One that I have that neither of you guys said was We Live in a Time, and and I don't know if that's been as like watched. It might be underwatched this year, but it's Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, and I was like, this is really like super like genuine, like sincere movie about Florence Pugh's character having cancer, and then they go through that as a couple. And I was like, and it's like does it through time jumps where you're like seeing the three different stories unfold, like before, during, and after the cancer. And this is really like a heavy movie that I haven't seen talked about a lot, and I thought that both of them were incredible. I get like we talk about actors. I haven't seen much about it, but I'm like both of them could win best actor in their respective category. But
Okay, I'm my last one, and we've already talked about it a bunch on our previous podcast. I'll throw a Nosferatu. I don't
Nosferatu.
think it's it probably zero chance of it getting in there, but
Yeah.
I'll take it, I guess.
Okay, so the rest of these categories are a little easier. I only need 5 from you guys,
Okay.
so we can
Wait,
do.
do you guys have a best picture prediction? I know we're not.
Oh yeah, we can do our prediction too.
A bit premature.
I mean, if it really comes, it's not what I think I'd pick, but I think that the Brutalist probably will end up winning.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree as well. Just compared to some of the other ones on or well, I guess we don't know what's going to be on there, but I guess thinking of previous Oscar Best Picture wins, I think that has a slight edge over some of the others.
They surprise us sometimes, though.
I love the Oscar surprises. I love Moonlight's win.
What about was it 2019 Coda or something around there? It's like
that was no one saw that.
yeah.
Like still no one remembers that
movie.
No. But I think the Brutalist will.
Yeah. Okay, we're unanimous on that thought. So we'll see. Maybe that won't even get
watch it not get a nomination.
Yeah, won't even get nominated. Everyone's like, what?
We're shit out of luck.
All right, we can do this quick here. Let's quickly talk best actor. My 5 that I've got down. I've got Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, and this is a crazy pronunciation, but I think well deserved. It's Rafe Fiennes, which isn't that insane? But yeah, it's not Ralph Fiennes. It's Rafe Fiennes.
Oh, really?
In Conclave, yeah. Yeah, it's like okay,
sure.
Pronounce both parts of your name bizarrely, but yeah, he had a great year too. Awesome in The Return. It was a really bizarre movie about the Odyssey, but where he's very naked and but
That's
and
a
then yeah, very different than the Pope movie. Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown, and Sebastian Stan, which I wouldn't be surprised if he gets nominated for either A Different Man or Apprentice, which I thought was really good too.
I
Yeah.
have this. I have the same list, except I think it's going to be Sebastian Stan and a different
Okay, you don't think it has any chance of being The Apprentice?
man.
One person I'd like to see, I guess I don't know if we've talked about it yet. Daniel Craig
Yeah, and Queer.
in Queer. Yeah, that was a really cool performance. So I'll throw him in there. Yeah, Adrian Brody, of course. Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing,
Yep.
and yeah, I guess I'll go Timothy Chalamet, A Complete Unknown, and then I'll throw in Nicholas Hoult. I think it'd be for juror number two,
Okay.
because he's supporting actor in Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I'll say Nicholas Hoult.
Okay.
Does everyone think Adrian Brody is going to win?
Yeah, I mean,
Colin Domingo.
Coleman Domingo was really good. Yeah, I don't know. That is a tougher call. I mean, I think Adrian Brody's probably the front runner, like by the odds. But that was also like I think people are just seeing Complete Unknown. I wouldn't be surprised if Timothy pulls out the win on it.
No way.
You don't think?
I would riot. I'll
I
be on.
mean, I don't know if he's given the best performance, but I think the so much of that movie, especially it came out so late in the year, it's getting
Yeah,
the buzz, and he's definitely gonna make a big. I mean, he's on SNL in like 2 weeks, so
he's been doing everything.
yeah.
He was on Nardwar. He was on there's a few other like
On the
podcasts, and oh wait,
college game
he was on
day,
like Theo Vaughn or
yeah.
something. And it was like the craziest, match I would have, ever
And
expected.
then on
But
Giovanni tried to say how he's always the hardest worker in the room, and then it
oh
crushed.
yeah,
I'm really glad that he did.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess yeah, it's not. I don't know if it's clear cut who's gonna win. It's interesting because like we said, we're doing this backwards. So say Adrian Brody does win for the Brutalist. I wonder at that time you're like, all right, does the Brutalist have this locked in for Best Picture?
yeah.
Um,
You do get sweeps.
mhm.
I mean, last
So it'll
year
be interesting. I think that might dictate a little bit. Um,
You know, it was funny. I thought Honora was the front runner because of it won the Palme d'Or
for Best
for the
Picture.
Golden Globes, and it didn't win a single award.
Well, okay, so that's kind of interesting there too because thought it was getting tons of attention as well, and when I saw that I was like, oh, Mikey Madison, this she's a lock for Best Actress for like everything this year, right? But then I've seen some other performances since then. I've been like, well, okay, there's been some good performances here. And we can jump into that real quick because I know we're running long here today, but
yeah,
Sorry,
no. You know, I love this deep convo we're having. But
yeah,
my
longer the better.
Mikey Madison, Honora, Demi Moore, The Substance, Cynthia Erivo, and Wicked. And then here's my I really think Lily Rose Depp from Nosferatu should be nominated for Best Actress. And I don't think she will, but she should be. She's spectacular in that. And then my last one, which I don't think is going to get it either, but I'm going to say it, is Anya Taylor-Joy in Furiosa.
Mm. That's another movie I have not seen talked about. I don't know if it's, like best picture material like itself, but I haven't really heard anyone like from that movie being, offered up for,
Yeah.
best actress, or which I thought she was great. And that was like one thing about Nosferatu, which, I was surprised about, because she was supposed to be the lead actress in that movie, if I'm not mistaken. And then, Lily Rose Depp, I think, took over. So that was like, I wasn't really sure what to expect from
Yeah.
Lily Rose Depp, but yeah, she was awesome too. So I think it would be kind of cool to see both of them get nominated.
She was brilliant. I'd love to see Lily Rose Depp nominated for that. I think I haven't seen I'm Still There, but I know Fernanda Torres has gotten a lot of buzz. I think she's an option as
Yeah. Okay.
well. I don't know if we'll get the Wicked nomination.
I think that it's going to. I think it's going to get nominated at least in a bunch of stuff. And I really hope it doesn't win. I didn't love it that much. It's not even my number one musical.
Think of Wicked as this year's Barbie, though.
But the thing is, I think Barbie's better than Wicked.
Ryan Gosling got best supporting, but Margaret didn't get best lead, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
No, wait, I don't even think he got nominated, but he didn't win.
Yeah, got nominated, which was
Was because it was last year, so that would have been Robert Downey Jr., right? Won Best Supporting.
Yep, for Oppenheimer. Yeah.
So
heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it won a few things, I think.
Yeah, small film.
But anything else, guys? You guys agree mostly with that list?
Yeah. Do we think I can't remember her name, the actress in Amelia Perez? Like, I don't know if Wicked will get a she'll get a nomination for this, but she might. I don't know.
I have Amelia Perez. I have what's her name? Zoe Saldana in that, but she's actually supposed to be in the supporting actor. Both of them, both of the actors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a tough one. I don't think it'll get any nominations for best actress, but it might get 2 in the supporting.
I can see that. Yep.
So yep, okay, we can. You guys both agree on Mikey Madison and Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think the race is between the two of them. If Fernanda Torres doesn't sneak in.
Okay, I have Fernanda Torres on you. AB, do you think Cynthia Erivo, Lily Rose Depp?
Yeah, I'd say Lily Rose Depp. Personally, I think I don't know, probably won't be nominated, but yeah, I was really blown away by her. A lot of the kind of way she like twisted her body, like the body contortions was actually like felt like I'm like watching parts of The Exorcist, those scenes. So yeah, that wasn't expecting that, but yeah, I'd say she was my personal favorite out of those.
Okay, yeah, I think you owe me 2 more. Alex, you owe me 1.
Okay, let me see.
It is a tough because there's obvious frontrunners, but there's some good performances too.
In Love Lies Bleeding, I can't remember. Is Kristen Stewart? Would she be supporting or would she be?
I'm not sure because
I don't know how.
Like I said, I looked at the eligible actors, and Love Lies Bleeding wasn't eligible in any category. So I'm not sure why that is.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll give one that probably won't happen, but just to spice things up a bit. Nicole Kidman and Baby Girl.
Okay, actually, when I was doing some research and looking, I think she was in like the top 10. So I haven't seen that one yet. But
Best Actress award at the Venice Film Festival. It hasn't gotten quite the response that it wanted, I think, but I think she has a shot. And I also love Nicole Kidman. I sat behind her in a movie theater once and almost went up to hit on her until her husband was selfish enough to sit next to her.
Yeah, and she's done
How dare he?
this very sexy movie with what's his name? Oh gosh.
Oh, I've been seeing trailers for it.
The guy in Triangle of Sadness, who's literally like
British guy.
Yeah, he's like literally the most ripped.
Yeah, God, he's ugly.
Is it the one where he's like the intern or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I'll throw. I guess I don't have a lot off the top of my head. But yeah, I guess I'll throw in. It's Cynthia from Wicked.
Okay.
Uh, and I need one more.
Yep.
Who do I have so far?
You got Mikey Madison, Demi Moore, Cynthia Erivo, Lily Rose Depp.
All right.
What's his name? Harris Dickinson.
Yeah, he's hot.
Yeah, he's just like a huge ripped guy, and being talked about as Bond potentially too. Which,
A little
yeah,
young.
but they want to do it with a young Bond.
He's an option. I've heard a guy from Challengers, Josh O'Connor.
Oh yeah,
He won.
that'd be interesting too.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
I guess the only one I can think of off the top of my head right now is I actually saw was it Cuckoo, um,
Oh
and
yeah,
Hunter Schafer.
Hunter Schafer.
I liked her performance, so I'll throw her in there.
Okay.
Hunter Schafer's cool.
We can quickly do supporting, and then we can wrap up, guys. We can see how we're feeling about moving on past that.
Sure.
But here we go. Supporting actor. I've got Kieran Culkin, which I think that is a lock for him, pretty much. But then I also have Yura Borisov and Honora, Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice, who I think was fantastic. Stanley Tucci in Conclave, and Austin Butler from Dune Part 2.
I think Guy Pearce will get a Best Supporting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Maybe is it Edward Norton who's in a Complete Unknown?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. With just that movie being being a front runner for some, or not front runner, but probably being in a lot of these categories, I could see him sneaking his way in there.
That's fair.
I know all the buzzes around Kieran Culkin, but Jeremy Strong could pull through.
I really wanted to be Jeremy Strong. I thought he was awesome.
So sensational, and I love to see the Succession rivalry.
I know we're talking about Kieran Culkin and Jeremy Strong. It's the Succession Bros.
Yeah, exactly.
The other brother, the older brother, lives in Columbus, or at least I've seen him here before.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, what's his name? From Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's finish this.
Connor in the show.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Characters.
Yeah. Any others that you guys thought stood out? I mean, you guys agree Kieran Culkin at least?
I agree with those, except I think Guy Pearce and Edward Norton.
Okay. So instead of Austin Butler?
Yeah. So one film, or I guess he would be. I don't know how this works with his role in Long Legs. Nick Cage, his performance was crazy. I don't know if that would be supporting actor.
Yeah,
I'm not
it would
sure.
be supporting. It wouldn't be.
Yeah, because he wasn't the there's I forget her name, the lead actress, but yeah, I'll throw him in there just because that was just a crazy. That was a crazy performance. Like
another really ugly person. What's her name? No, she's like the most stunning woman in Hollywood.
From Long Legs.
Yeah, she was in It Follows.
Oh yeah, aren't they making It Follows too?
I've heard, but I don't know.
Micah Monroe.
Yeah, Micah Monroe. Micah, if you're listening,
reach out. AB, you owe me one more.
What's is it Yuri from Honora?
Yeah, Yura Borisov.
Yeah, did I say that one yet?
Nope, I can add him to your list.
I will. I'll say Yuri.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But
yeah.
Okay, and let's finish up here with Best Supporting Actress. I've got Ariana Grande from Wicked, Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez, Isabella Rossellini from Conclave, Margaret Qualley, The Substance, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist.
Yeah, I would say I agree with Ariana Grande, Felicity Jones, and The Brutalist. and then you said Zoe Saldana
Yep.
is up. Okay, I'll say her too for three of them.
Okay.
I kind of agree with all that. I think I agree with all of Ren's.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying
the
to think if there's any others that pop out into my head.
come to my mind. I want to change it best supporting actor real quick.
Okay.
Ren. Take out Edward Norton and put in Adam Pearson. 'Cause I don't know if he's gonna get it, but and this isn't biased because he follows me on Instagram, shameless plug. But I did think his performance in A Different Man was probably been the best I've seen all year. Honestly, I was bored by it.
Okay.
And then I agree with you for best supporting actress.
Yeah, I always find the supporting actors it is tougher to go through because they're not doing a big performance, right? But
I'll throw in Emily Blunt in The Fall Guy. I thought she was really good in
yeah,
that.
actually that is really fair. I like that movie a lot, even though
Yeah.
I know a lot of people
Yeah, I don't think it
didn't.
will get any noms, but
Probably win like
that was probably like the
it'll win best
movie that I had the
stunts.
most fun with, uh, from this past year.
Yeah, it's a great summer movie. I agree with that. Yeah, but best stunts, which is it's totally a category, and that's what the movie's about, right?
Yep.
Okay, you owe me
Got
one
one there.
more.
One more. Ooh. Uh,
I'll make like a little graphic, and we can put it up
yeah.
on the socials.
Did I say Isabella Rossellini from Conclave yet?
Okay, nope, but I'll add her.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I
It's
totally.
so cool. Speaking of Lynch, they used to date.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, yeah, they used to date, which was funny because she was in Blue Velvet, and someone asked
Yeah.
Lynch, why do you date your actresses?" And he was sort of like, oh, "It's pretty personal, isn't it?"
Oh
They
my
didn't
god.
answer, but yeah, Isabella and David used to date. They were made a cute couple too.
And she.
Isabella. Oh, okay. I have a question
Yep.
for all of you guys. What is a film that has escaped all of the award buzz that you think was so sensational and are really mad that it's gotten no attention?
Well, we did talk about Love Lies Bleeding earlier, which I think
Yes.
I'm really surprised that isn't being talked about at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's probably my number one for like that kind of movie. One movie like I don't think like one movie I enjoyed a ton. Like I think it got like really bad ratings, but I don't know. It was just it came out earlier in 2024, but I don't know why I just really loved Ricky Stenicki. That was just like a super fun movie. I was just
I
like,
I
this isn't
I
like
totally agree.
anything crazy, but I don't think it was worthy of any noms.
It
But
it came out in January, and
okay.
so that it's gonna get buried, and then on top of that,
Mm,
because it's a comedy, especially like in the irreverent kind of comedy, I think it's fantastic, super hilarious. Like one of my first movies last year that I was like, "This is awesome," which came out so early. So, but
yeah.
yeah, super fair.
I guess one film I'm surprised like we've talked about it and we still think it's or at least I think we think it's going to get nominated is Dune 2, but I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't heard more about Dune with it being like the biggest I think it was the biggest blockbuster of the
Also
year or
came
one of
out,
the
I
biggest.
feel like really early, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's probably a big reason and like kind of lost
And then
its
I
buzz.
saw, I think it's the New York Times film guys talking about how it feels like the biggest star in Dune 2 is Denis Villeneuve, and
As it should be.
but
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? So like that, if you talk about why aren't those actors getting, any kind of recognition or any award buzz, it's because the guy behind that thing is the director. But
Which is very hard to do for a film that has such a stacked cast
yeah,
of complete A-listers. I Whoever asked that question about the most underrated film of the year is interesting
because I do have an answer for it actually.
I think you asked that.
I think there was this movie that was released by Sony Picture Classics,
Okay.
directed by a director who I met at Berlin named Nathan Silver, who is going to be one of the next great directors. He's doing a movie with the actress that starred in Hereditary. The film stars Jason Schwartzman and Carol Kane. It's a Jewish screwball comedy called Between the Temples. That movie was unbelievably incredible.
I never even heard of it.
Very original.
Putting it on my watch list.
We have the same favorite filmmaker. I just think that I laughed so hard. I thought the script was so smart, and I loved the art design of it, and the performances were incredibly extraordinary. Ren, you would love it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm surprised Jason Schwartzman can be in a movie that Wes Anderson didn't make.
You're not wrong. Even though he was in Queer, he played that kind of
that's true.
Flamboyant gay man and embodied the role. He did so well
in it. That actually we can say. I know that it's not the Buzzy movie because it's Daniel Craig and not Zendaya, but for his 2 movies this year, how can people say Challengers is better or more interesting than Queer? You know, like I was like, really? Like, I mean, the soundtrack, they both have Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, so I'm not sure.
Which is what I loved. Real quick, a note on that. I loved that Luca was sending notes to Nine Inch Nails for the soundtrack, and his note was basically just more gay. I love that.
They've been doing so over the last 10, 20 years, they've been, or I think more 10 years, but they've been doing so many soundtracks, and they've even helped produce some, I can't remember which artist, but they've helped produce albums. And I never knew this. I played a lot of Black Ops 2, in the early days, and I had no clue that they both did that game soundtrack. So they have their hands in lots of different things.
They're really good artists. They're very cool.
And I don't want to make this going too long, but they are doing the new Tron that's going to come out, so they're taking over from Daft Punk.
Yeah.
They'll do a good job with
it. Which, yeah, I'm sure they'll be fantastic.
I thought Challengers was a B-level script that was elevated to A status because of this maximalist directing style. But I didn't like Queer either.
Oh, you don't like it?
I thought both were not great. I thought Challengers was one of those. It was the TikTok brain rot genre that we discussed. So I think that's why it got so much attention. I thought Zendaya wasn't great in it. But Queer we don't have to talk about, but I think Challengers was just sort of I don't know. Luca has this way of he tells these surface level love stories, and there's nothing much else going on to except for Bones and Ollie try to do something much.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, I think both of them do the similar thing of it's not just love, it's really physical. He does a really good they brush knees, and now we're whoa, it's sparks, and you don't see that a lot in other films. You see that more in literature, so I think he's more booky, I guess, in the way that he writes things. But I thought Queer was a lot better, and it might just be you have the star power of Daniel Craig rather than these young actors who are still, they're not Daniel Craig level yet, even if they are superstars. So
Josh O'Connor, though, is a wonder. He was so good in La Chimera.
Yeah,
and I think he already is big, but I think he's gonna be massive.
There we go.
I think he's a brilliant actor, and he picks good projects.
Yeah, I agree, and I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes Bond either. So,
yeah,
but
not mad about it.
There we go. I don't want to take up any more time, so if you guys have to end here, we can. But we can real quick maybe each pick a director.
Okay.
Let's do one.
Ooh.
This is tough, but I
The
mean,
director to win.
yeah, director. We don't have to say to win. We have to say at least be nominated.
Okay.
So you can. I think Brady Corbet is probably a lock. We'll say outside of him.
I'll throw in Sean Baker
Sean Baker.
from
Okay,
from Menorah. Yeah.
I think that's probably also a lock.
It's a lock as well. I will. I think James Mangold for Complete Unknown will definitely get a Best Director now.
Wow. See, I don't know, but I mean, probably, but there's so many other good ones this year, like Denis Villeneuve.
I'd love to see.
I'm gonna say him.
Love-
I think if he
Yeah.
doesn't get a nomination, that is one I'll riot. I'm like, well, what are we doing?
Because it's only 5 for director, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
But even
and they will include, for good reason, 1 or 2 women. Maybe the Emilia Perez director could get in there.
Yeah.
Or the Substance director could.
Yeah.
Because I do think that film's well directed.
And I think even the Conclave is it Edward Burr or something like that? I'm bringing the name, but really,
Yeah, he did All Quiet on the Western Front, right? I
Yeah.
think he'll get nominated.
yeah, I mean that's star-studded cast, like not easy stars. You know what I mean? Like some big names, and you have to sit there and deliver that kind of movie, which I think is tough. The quieter performances from everybody, but yeah, okay, good stuff, guys. I'll keep it in score. So I think the stuff comes out on Thursday, so we can. I'll total everything up, see what we get.
I'm expecting my prize to be shipped to me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What do we get? Yeah, what do we get if we win?
It's a good question.
We like a golden star or something.
Yeah,
we get a little trophy, a little mini Oscar.
That'd be sweet. You actually get an Oscar.
That's the only Oscar I'll ever get. So
you get
Hey,
you get an actual.
Don't say
Oscar.
that. We're rooting for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So when the movie comes out, Alex, we're gonna be listed as producers, right?
Of course. No, if we make the movie this year, we'll be happy to hop back on the call and talk about it. And I appreciate you guys being supportive. It's you're both very fun to talk to, and I like talking movies, so I don't mind doing that. But thank you for the insightful questions, and thank you for having me on the show. I wish it all the best of luck to anyone listening. Keep listening.
Oh well, thank you. We love having you on here. It's been a joy.
Yeah, thank you so much. Kind of giving us the inside scoop on how the film industry actually works.
Yeah, well, no worries. Reach out anytime.
Sorry, I'm getting some feedback on there. There we go. But yeah, man. We can wrap up. Eventually maybe we'll have you back on and you can talk about more about your feature after it comes out. But with that, we can wrap up. We'll say cheers to the audience. We'll come back next time for space. I think you've listened enough. We won't rock it out today, but we'll rock it out next time. We'll do double the space. If that sounds good with you, AB.
Yeah, there's always space to talk about. So
yeah,
can't run out of topics for that.
We can say a quick thing, like the SpaceX rocket, we blew up in the atmosphere, so we'll have to wait till next time.
Exactly. Hey, Blue Origin, hey, the new Glenn, that works.
Good, finally.
But
yeah, cheers everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Yep. Thanks everyone.